Hello, welcome to the first part of a three-part tutorial series consisting of a total of 9 lessons on how to write a philosophy essay or paper. This tutorial is primarily for those of you who are about to write your first philosophy essay and for those of you who have written a few but aren't happy with the results. Still, even some of you who have written more than a few philosophy essays might pick up one or two useful pointers from this tutorial series. Obviously, it is difficult to absorb everything offered in a tutorial like this immediately. So I've broken a complete tutorial into 3 main parts. In increasing level of specificity and difficulty. You can watch any of the 3 parts without having watched the others. However, the advantage of watching all 3 in this order is that each part both reinforces what you've learned in the previous part and adds new knowledge or know-how. I have broken the more difficult part 3 into smaller lessons. In part 1, which will follow the outline I'm describing now, I will tell you one thing that you cannot do without if you want to write a good philosophy essay or paper. In part 2, I present 13 basic lessons, the minimum I would like you to walk away with if you don't want to watch the rest of the tutorials. The second part is essentially a do's and don'ts list. The third part, in contrast to the list form of the second part, has a structure. During that part, we will examine the stages of writing a philosophy paper. Okay, let's begin part 1. Part 1 consists of a single lesson under the name One Tip. So imagine you had to leave right away and you asked me for one tip only for writing a philosophy paper. What would that tip be? Do not procrastinate. Okay, that's a joke. Well, actually it's not. This is the first rule for almost every assignment and you should already know that. But as for my single tip specifically for writing a philosophy essay, read philosophy, lots of it. By that, I don't mean books from the bookstore that have the word philosophy in the title. I mean the readings that your professor give you, academic philosophy. The more you read, the more you will get a sense of what philosophy is about and what it's not about. Just by frequent reading, you will, at the least, become familiar with what philosophy looks like. So that let's say when you are reviewing an essay you wrote before you hand it in, you will be able to say, aha, this part isn't philosophy at all, or something's missing in this essay. All right. If you are a beginner, that one tip should help you get off the ground and hopefully also help you toward doing well on your first essay. But if you don't want to leave the results up to luck, we will have to get a little deeper, as we do in part 2, with not 1, but 13 tips, each of them with explanatory detail. I should let you know that these tips will include very little technical stuff, in case you're worried about that. I left the more technical bits for part 3.